There's a way of thinking that's over 2,500 years old. It's guided emperors and warriors, but it starts with this one single baffling instruction. It cannot be explained. And right there, in that impossible statement, that's where our story begins.
This is the very first line of its foundational text, the Tao Te Ching. You know, it might just be the most honest opening in the history of philosophy. It tells you right from the get-go, hey, whatever I'm about to say, that's not really it. It's a paradox, and it sits at the absolute heart of everything we're going to talk about.
I mean, just think about that for a second. While ancient Greece was busy laying the groundwork for all of Western thought, this idea was already alive and well in the East, like this silent counterpoint to everything we think we know about logic and reason. And its influence? It's just staggering. You can see it in the strategy of Sun Tzu's Art of War. You can feel it in the movements of Bruce Lee. And yeah, it's even made its way into the boardrooms of modern tech giants. They're all looking for that edge, the one you can't just find in a spreadsheet. So what is this thing, this powerful, enduring, and utterly silent philosophy? That's the central mystery we're going to explore today, a philosophy that actually gets its power from its refusal to be pinned down. Now, our guide on this journey is this brilliant American mathematician and logician, a guy named Raymond Smullyan, and his book, The Tao Is Silent. And that title, it tells you everything you need to know, right? He didn't call it The Tao Explained. He calls it The Tao Is Silent. Smullyan got it. He knew this wasn't a topic you could dissect, but something you had to kind of dance around, something you had to feel. See, Smullyan, coming from the West, he immediately saw what made the Tao so different. This isn't about adopting a creed or following a bunch of commandments. There's no dogma here. He realized it's more like a direction, a signpost pointing toward a reality that words just can't fully capture. So, knowing that any definition is basically designed to fail, how do we even begin to get a grip on what the Tao actually is? Well, we do it by pointing, not by defining. And the best thing to point at is water. The word Tao translates to the way, but it's not a path you walk on. Think of it more like the way a river flows or the way the seasons change. It's the fundamental, underlying natural order of the whole universe. It's the rhythm of reality itself. And this right here, this is a crucial point and a huge departure from most Western thinking. The Tao doesn't care about you. It doesn't reward the good or punish the evil. It is not listening to your prayers. And you know what? In that indifference, there's this incredible sense of liberation. A universe that isn't judging you is a universe you can finally relax in. We keep coming back to this line because it's the ultimate disclaimer, isn't it? Every single word we use, even words like the way or the current, puts a boundary around something that is, by its very nature, boundless. It's like they say, the map is not the territory. This is probably the best analogy for it. You can feel water, you can move with it, you can let it support you. But the second you try to possess it, to clench your fists and try to own it, it just slips right through your fingers. The very act of trying to grasp it is exactly what makes you lose it. Okay, so I know this might all be sounding a little abstract, a little out there, but it leads to one of the most practical and powerful concepts in all of philosophy. If you can't fight the current, what are you supposed to do? Well, you learn to flow with it. This is the art of Wu Wei. Now, Wu Wei often gets translated as non-action, but honestly, that's misleading. It's not about doing nothing at all. It's about effortless action. Imagine moving so perfectly with the flow of a situation that what you do feels completely natural, like you're not even trying. It's the absolute opposite of grinding and forcing and struggling. And this illustrates the difference perfectly. On the left, you've got the brute force approach most of us use every day. We're hacking away, we're fighting, we're striving. And on the right, you have Wu Wei, finding the path of least resistance, flowing with the current, and hitting this state of perfect alignment, where amazing things happen without a struggle. A river carves the Grand Canyon, not through brute force, but just through persistence and flow. Smullyan uses the example of a master chef who doesn't hack at a carcass, he glides his knife through the natural joints. Or think about an athlete who's in the zone, where thinking just stops and perfect action takes over. That is Wu Wei. So let me just ask you this. Think about your work, your relationships, your big goals. How much of your daily stress and anxiety comes from forcing things, from just hacking at the bone? And what would it look like to find the joint instead?
This brings us to the final and maybe the most profound idea from Smullyan's entire exploration. If Wu Wei is about how we act in the world, then Pu is all about who we are before we even start acting. Pu is the concept of the uncarved block of wood. Before it gets turned into a table, or a chair, or a sculpture, a block of wood is just pure potential. It could become anything. It's in its most natural, whole, and genuine state. The big insight of Taoism is that we are all born as uncarved blocks, spontaneous, authentic. But then the world starts carving. Our education, our jobs, our ambitions, our social media profiles, they all chisel away at us, shaping us for a specific purpose, polishing us up for approval, until we fit neatly into whatever role we're supposed to play. And this is the devastatingly simple question that Tao asks in all this carving and shaping to become someone impressive, someone successful, someone that people approve of. Have you lost touch with your own true nature? Have you forgotten the feeling of just being? So here it is, the crucial point. The Tao is silent, not because it's hiding something from us, but because what it points to is beyond words. It's about returning to a state of being that doesn't need any justification. And maybe the most liberating lesson in all of this is that if the fundamental nature of reality doesn't need to explain itself, maybe you don't either.